Hello everyone, and welcome back to Tutorials of Tone. My name is Alex. Thank you so much for watching this video. What we're talking about today, Gretchen Wilson's Here for the Party. This country rocker will send any set list into overdrive, and if you're in a female-fronted band, chances are you're playing this on the summer circuit, so it's nice to have a preset at the ready. Let's dive right in. First up, we have our input block. Everything is at stock settings except the threshold of our gate is at negative 47.5 dB. It's where I like having it for my Morse Music Man guitars as well as this Fender Tele. These are the two axes that I use on all of the country gigs that I play. So if you are a country pack purchaser on the Gumroad store, you will have iterations of Tele and Morse Music Man or humbucker guitars for both the Axe FX3 and FM3 configurations. For this entire tune, I'm on the bridge pickup, whether I'm on a Tele or a humbucker laced guitar, such as Blue. Next in our chain, we have our amp block. For our clean sounds, we're using a twin reverb, the silver face. Very neutral settings here throughout. We're just trying to scoop out a lot of that low end to get that tight, hot Tele sound that Nashville is known for. So our gain and our master volumes on this amp are turned to 7. We have our bass turned down to 2.5 and the cut switch is engaged. Treble turned up to 6.2 and bright switch is engaged. For our input EQ, we have 80 Hz low cut and an 8500 Hz high cut. For our overdrive sound, we've switched over to the JCM 800 just as Gretchen did on the record with her guitar players. Really nice to have this Marshall overdriven tone. We have our gain at 5, our master volume at 7.5, really trying to drive that to get the low end out of the amp. Our bass is at 3.5, treble at 6, and the bright switch is engaged. Note that the bright cap on this is turned down from 1000 peak Pharaohs to 450. Gets a little bit of that chirp and that high-end shimmer ice pick out of there. You can really get a nice full sounding rhythm tone. The input EQ on the JCM 800 is 80 Hz low cut and 8500 Hz high cut. We're running all of that into a 4x12 pair of Marshall cabs, 1960B with a V30 and a 1960A with a 57 rolled back 2.5 dB. We've got an 80 Hz low cut and 8500 Hz high cut on our cab. All of that runs into a medium plate reverb running in parallel just to give it a little bit of extra squish and a little bit of breath, especially if you're listening to board recordings or any live recordings that you're going to use later. It's nice to have just a little bit so it's not so stark and dry. For our lead tone, we engage a little bit of an input boost, which is just a stock setting neutral boost type, 12 dB on the input level. Very simple, just kicks that amp into overdrive, gives you a little more saturation and sustain. We're using a mono tape delay for this, set to a quarter note. We're at 124 BPM, but should your tempo change, there is a tap tempo option that you have configured on the FC controller. It's a very healthy level of negative 7.5 dB on this block. All of this runs into a filter block, which is set to 2 dB instead of 3 to make up for the volume increase that we have from our input boost. When we increase the gain, of course, we increase the volume, so it's nice to keep everything at just a 3 dB bump and right back down. So now let's compare the sound of the Teletones with that of Blue or any humbucker laced guitar you may have, such as a Super Strat or a Les Paul. Well, that about does it for this video and these sets of presets. If you liked this video, there are plenty more throughout the channel that you can check out with tutorials of tone, Fractal 101s, gear reviews, playthroughs, etc. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all next time.